has coined his campaign slogan, "America cannot wait." Little did he know that he was echoing the sentiments of our citizens right here in Barbados, which is weighted down by the most incompetent and useless DLP government ever to coincide with the greatest crisis of our times. So St. Joseph can't wait, St. James South cannot wait, and Barbados cannot wait. We face the most extraordinary times of our history, and extraordinary times call for extraordinary actions by extraordinary people. These times call for the outstanding leadership of the Barbados Labour Party, and every single member of this great political institution must report for duty. And it is for this reason that I have answered the call to duty, to come to St. James South, to be a part of an extraordinary team which will rescue, rebuild, and restore. We cannot fail this hour. We cannot fail this moment, because the old people and pensioners in St. James South cannot wait. They need a rescue. Our young people in Haynesville and Halls Village and West Terrace cannot wait. They need their hope restored. The middle class in Pryor Park and Warrens and husbands cannot wait. Their well-being must be saved. And businesses from all across this country, from St. Lucie to Christchurch, from St. John back to St. Michael, they can no longer wait. The urgency of the hour requires that we respond to this call of our nation to serve. So we must not wait. This country has been tricked by promises and failed by treachery. Imagine a government coming to office on the promise of reducing the cost of living, and the only plan that has appeared today, 3 days later, is printing prices in a newspaper. If that is not trickery, I don't know what is. The iniquitous arrangements with Coverley, which has deprived so many contractors and construction workers of the opportunity to work, to be able to put bread on their table. If that arrangement is not treachery, I do not know what is. But the Dems have more of the same on the menu. In the last 3 months, we have had 3 ministers announcing spending that totals an additional $1.8 billion more to be added to the debt. The latest one woke up like Rip Van Winkle just yesterday to arrive at the conclusion we arrived at 3 years ago, that we need a new hospital. Just wake up, Rip Van Winkle. Well, let me tell you, this is the first time that I have ever agreed with him. We need a new hospital, but our most urgent need right now is a new government. This DLP government has added $3 billion in debt in 3 years. The Central Bank of Barbados is printing money. And you can imagine that 3 big ministers could get up and talk about spending another $1.8 billion. My question to them is this: where is the money going to come from? And who they're going to get it from? And when they're going to get it? That is what I want to know. This government must be put aside, if for no other reason than it allowed a reign of terror to be visited on the sick, the indigent, and the strangers in this country by the soon-to-be departed from office representative of St. James South. Never, never, never has there been a more callous minister handling the health care of Barbadians. No other ministry, apart from finance, has inflicted more far-reaching and dangerous pain to the lives of Barbadians. They decided he came to this country, and instead of bringing a big reform plan to reform health care in this country, they came to reform the drug service by just bringing cuts to save $24 million. Nothing to change it, to make it better for Barbadians. After his so-called reform, he left it worse. Why? Because there was no preparation to get more pharmacists, to get more supplies, to get more storage. So what do we have now? Senior citizens have to wait 4 hours to get medication, and after waiting 4 hours could still hear that they don't have the medication. You think that is right? It is wicked. It is wicked. It is cruel. Do you know how hard it is for old people to have to get up and dress to go somewhere? When you're 75 years old, it is not easy for you to brave the roads and the traffic and to make your way slowly and often painfully to a polyclinic. And even though they now recognize that the plan is flawed and changes are required, he is saying they have to wait 8 months before he changes it. But I want to tell him, they can't wait. Can you imagine a hospital running out of cancer drugs, life-saving medication that people need to stay alive, having to wait for weeks? That is mismanagement of the highest order, because when you have cancer, you cannot wait. My opponent has even been willing to experiment with the pensioners in St. James. I don't know why he's always putting them up on the block. The new pension check scheme that Barbadians had to scream out about, that man was willing to allow them to experiment on the St. James pensioners first. I say no. He is supposed to be planning for the well-being of the country, not just in terms of health, but planning for the well-being of the people of St. James South. He has 23,000 residents living in the St. James parish. You could imagine that that man sat down and decided that the most important thing that he could do was to build a polyclinic in St. John for 8,000 people, when 23,000 people down in St. James do not have a polyclinic. That makes sense? Bajans are so stunned by innocent's brutal indifference that even when he announced just yesterday that private patients now have to pay all their monies up front from Tuesday, another affliction on the Barbadian public, another affliction that comes because you don't plan. What is going to happen if you don't have all the money? And your surgery is scheduled for next month. Sickness doesn't wait. The current representative of St. James South has to be replaced, and he will be given his walking papers at the next election, because I can't wait. The bees are ready. We are ready. We are ready to bring a message of hope. We are ready to present workable plans to our country, and we have the competent team to come to rescue, rebuild, and restore. And with the help of my team in St. James South and the bigger Barbados Labour Party, I will be part of the team to rescue St. James South from the hands of Don Valinis. We are going to be bringing community projects that will help put people back to work, learning opportunities for our young people, relief to the poor, look to see how we can use resources to bring something that will help our pensioners who are struggling on limited incomes. Our party is very hard at work. Various teams are working on strategies to make rescue, rebuild, and restore a reality. I am part of a 4-man team working on the advancement of entrepreneurship that will bring hope back to Barbados, to give an opportunity to ordinary Barbadians to envision extraordinary dreams again. We need to look at a better platform for engaging the global marketplace. We need to broaden opportunities for Bajan businesses in CSME. We need to support an aggressive export strategy and increase access to resources and assistance to support the entrepreneurial thrust, because we need to go the distance. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to move so far forward that we have to gird up our loins, gird up our strength and all that is within us to ensure that we can go the distance. But I'm putting it to you this afternoon that if we fail this moment, if we falter at this time, all that Randy Adams has worked for, his vision, will fail. The future that we want for our children will fail. And in the footnote of the history of Barbados would be written that when the Barbados Labour Party needed to come to the plate, we faltered. I say to you, no. I say to you, no. For this moment in time says to us that we must not fail.